This is Extinction Rebellion, South Australia, coming to you from Glenelg, seaside beach suburb of Adelaide. And we're here today because the seaside, where you love to come with your children, is at risk from rising sea levels, from the climate emergency that we're in. The tram brings people to Glenelg to enjoy the sunshine, to enjoy the beach. You can see so many people at Moseley Square in Glenelg. But that's not all. You can see Extinction Rebellion here today, welcoming visitors to Adelaide, or visitors to Glenelg. And among the visitors are these people. We call them the Red Rebels. They're dressed in red to symbolise blood, because the thing about extinction is so many creatures are going to be dying, whether it's through flood, storms, bushfires, starvation, drought, hurricanes, extreme weather. And the red of the Red Rebels is just a reminder of the catastrophe that this earth is hurtling towards. Tram's gone, but the Red Rebels are still here. We're singing in Glenelg's Moseley Square. The Red Rebels and the Rise Up Singers from Extinction Rebellion at Glenelg, Moseley Square. on the seaside, because the seas are rising. And Extinction Rebellion is rising like the seas. We'd love you to join us, to participate in events like this, to bring more and more public attention to the climate emergency that we're in, and to think about our children and our children's children, your grandchildren. Will they be able to come to the beach like this, or will this be all washed away? It's very easy to think about today, this week, next week, what you want to do next year. We all do that. Not many of us sit back and think, what sort of a world are we leaving for the next generation and the one after that? You know, in 2050, what will they do? What will they look back on today, the 2020s, and ask what we were doing?
Now, we need to build a better future, and we need to start right now. We're on a planet that has a problem. We've got to solve it, get involved, and do it now. Now, we need to build a better future, and we need to start right now. Make it greener, make it greener, make it greener, make it greener, make it last, make it fast, do it now. We need to build a better future, and we need to start right now. No point in waiting or hesitating. We must get wise, no more lies, do it now. We need to build a better future, and we need to start right now. We need to wake up, we need to rise up, we need to open our eyes and do it now. We need to build a better future, and we need to start right now. We need to build a better future, and we need to start right now.
In case you've just joined us, this is Extinction Rebellion South Australia, and we are at Moseley Square. Moseley Square, the heart of Glenelg, Adelaide's most popular beachside suburb. Lots of people come here to enjoy the seaside, go for a ride on the Ferris wheel. Huge Stanford Grand Hotel there, built right on the beachfront. Wonder if they've got insurance against storm surges, sea level rise, because the seas are rising. We know that. And the Red Rebels are here with Extinction Rebellion's Rise Up singers. You can actually go and Google sea level rise and find your house and see how your house will be affected by sea level rise in the coming years. You might be surprised. And it's not just you, of course, not just here in Adelaide, but sea level rise is an issue all the way around the world, especially in the low-lying Pacific Islands, our neighbours. Red rebels moving towards the beach. Heading west towards the edge of Mosley Square. Carrying the Extinction Rebellion flag. Leading the way. Red rebels arrived here today on the tram, the Glenelg tram. You can see it behind them there. Comes every few minutes from the city down to the beach, because coming to the beach is something that is nearly all of us love to do from time to time, depending on the weather. The beach is a source of great joy for most of us. You, your kids. But will it always be like that? Not if we don't take drastic action to limit the effects of the climate emergency that we're already in. Not unless we get to zero emissions much sooner than we're currently planning to do. There's still huge subsidies for new oil and new gas. Taxpayers are funding fossil fuels to the tune of about $12 billion a year. Yes, you taxpayers. Me, all of us. You'd think it'd be very easy to agree how important it is to end fossil fuels now. You'd think so, but it isn't. Santos was in the federal court yesterday, arguing it should be allowed to start a billions of dollars new LNG project off the Northern Territory. They lost that appeal. The Tiwi Islanders complained in the federal court that they had not been consulted. They won at the first instance and Santos appealed, and only yesterday in the full federal court Santos lost that appeal. Another huge new gas project off the Northern Territory is the last thing the world needs. Following the Red Rebels to the beach, the Rise Up Singers. Let's follow the Red Rebels down to the beach. Iconic spot in Adelaide, Glenelg Beach. Gemma is the XR media person for today.
Hello there.
Gemma, what are we doing here?
Well, Today we're here because the poles are melting, the seas are rising, and soon there won't be beaches. So we need to end fossil fuels now for our children and for our Pacific Island neighbours, whose livelihoods and very existence is being threatened by rising sea levels. So the red rebels here, they symbolise the common blood that we share with all species, and they respond emotionally to what's happening to our planet, and at the moment that's destruction. But they aim to delight and surprise and draw attention to this important issue, and they'll be heading into the water soon to highlight the rising sea levels. So we're in a climate emergency, which is fueled by coal, oil and gas. We need to transition urgently away from these fossil fuels to achieve net zero, and we are calling on everyone to join us, to join the rebellion for the love of their children, for the love of humanity, and for the love of this beautiful planet that we live on. So please join us.
Thanks, Gemma. Interesting to see the red rebels in the water. That's, I think, a new thing for them. Lots of people down at the beach today, following the red rebels. Our banners. Fairly simple message to end fossil fuels now. But it's a message that still hasn't been heeded. This very weekend in Adelaide we are having a carbon emission festival. 4 days of internal combustion engines racing around a track in the Adelaide parklands. As if burning in combustion engines was something to be celebrated instead of deplored. Do you have children with you at the moment? Do you know children? Perhaps you've come down to this beach with your children once, twice, maybe many times. There's probably nobody in Adelaide who hasn't come to Glenelg at some stage. Red rebels are advancing along the promenade right on the beachfront at Glenelg. As the giant towers of the Stanford Grand Hotel and the Holdfast Shores development just to the north there tower over the beach. A very, very short distance above sea level. And you have to wonder what sort of precautions they've got against rising sea levels, storm surge, damage from more frequent extreme weather events. In case you've just joined us, this is Extinction Rebellion South Australia coming to you from Glenelg on the beachfront. don't know Adelaide, Glenelg's about 12k from the city, southwest suburb, southwest of the city, and it's very, very popular with Adelaideans who love to come to the beach. Oh, look at the beach umbrellas down here. Give you an idea of how popular it is. Lots of parents like coming here with their kids because it is a beautiful spot. Holdfast Bay. An Extinction Rebellion has come here to just highlight the fact that the children who are coming here today, this month, this year, next year, in recent years, they'll be adults in the next decade or two, and they'll be looking back at this time when their parents and grandparents were busy emitting fossil fuel, emitting carbon in various forms, as all of society does at the moment. We hope that your children and grandchildren will be able to enjoy coming to this beach in decades to come, in years to come. Will they? We know sea levels are rising. It's a matter of debate how quickly and which areas will be affected more than others. Our Pacific Island neighbours are the ones who have the most to lose because so many of the Pacific Islands are extremely low lying. There is no, on some islands, there is no high ground on which people might retreat. The whole population of some islands will have to find new homes somewhere else because their existing homes will be underwater before too long. Underwater, and I think the Red Rebels are going to be underwater soon too. To illustrate the point. Advancing across the sand. Some of the other Extinction Rebellion activists have been here a little bit earlier than the Red Rebels. And they've got a banner up on the jetty. 1, 2, 3 banners up on the jetty. If you can't read them in the distance, end fossil fuels now for our kids and like the sea we rise. Just see if I can zoom in. I don't think I can. Nope. But we're going down that way anyway. We have the Rise Up singers on the jetty as well. If you've just joined us, this is Extinction Rebellion South Australia, coming to you today from Glenelg in Adelaide with a very simple message. We're at the beach because the beach is the spot where the sea level rise will be first noticed. Not just here, not exclusively here. It may not be as bad here as it is in some other parts of Adelaide, let alone Australia, let alone the rest of the world. How vulnerable you are to sea level rise depends exactly on how many metres above sea level your home is. And for our South Pacific neighbours, some of them live on islands where the entire island is no more than 1 or 2 metres above sea level. And for them, a day enjoying the beach is pretty much a luxury. hope images like this will help you to have a conversation with your children if you haven't already. Because it is for our kids and grandkids, and not just our kids, everyone's kids. Arms raised in solidarity. These red rebels who don't speak but convey emotion with their bodies, with their faces. These are Extinction Rebellion's Red Rebels in the sea, Gulf St Vincent off Glenelg. Without speaking, making the point that the seas are rising. And it may not have caused any inconvenience to the people on Glenelg Beach today or next week or next year, but it's certainly going to cause an enormous amount of distress all around the world, particularly in the South Pacific as sea levels rise. And we know exactly what we have. We know exactly what we have to do in order to limit the damage, to restrict the trauma, the suffering, the catastrophe that we inflicted on so many millions of people around the world. Above all else, the most important thing to do is to end fossil fuels now, to ensure that there are no more fossil fuel projects approved, no more oil, gas, coal extraction activities. Leave it in the ground. Red Rebels are coming up out of the water. Easy for them to dip into the water and come out again. But for millions of people around the world, it's not going to be that easy. As long as rich countries like Australia keep pumping out oil and gas and coal, others around the world will be suffering and unable to escape from the catastrophe that is sea level rise. Not to mention, of course, more frequent extreme weather events that we're also familiar with. How many floods have we had in Australia this year? Too many to count almost. And let's not forget the ever-present danger of bushfires as we approach summer. It's enough to make a red rebel weep. you've just joined us, this is Extinction Rebellion South Australia at Glenelg. Glenelg Beach, very popular spot to bring families, to bring children. Lots of people enjoying sunshine here today because it is a very pleasant day weather-wise. But it doesn't look like it's very pleasant for the Red Rebels, who are expressing the emotion, the distress that comes with realising how much life on this earth is threatened. By the continued use and abuse of fossil fuels, carbon emissions, oil, coal and gas, and carbon being pumped into the atmosphere all the time. And we're not moving away from it nearly fast enough. Net zero by 2050 will be far too little too late. Why Glenelg? Why did we come to Glenelg? Well, we could have come to any coastal spot, anywhere on the coast around the world. There's at some form of danger, some spots more than others. Actually, if you have a look at a map of Adelaide and the expected rise in sea levels, the areas most at risk are the ones around Port Adelaide, Dry Creek, Mawson Lakes, to a lesser extent West Lakes. A lot of very expensive property around West Lakes that is likely to get inundated in the coming decades. The valuable real estate at Glenelg is just probably a few centimetres higher than the expected sea level rises. So they may not be affected here at Glenelg, but at least not to the same extent as around Port Adelaide. But it would be unfortunate if we focused only on our immediate vicinity and not on the general threat that sea level rise poses to communities all over the planet, and not just humans either. Plenty of species are in trouble. The extinction that we talk about in Extinction Rebellion is not just human, but a mass extinction event that we're living through the middle of. So here we are with the Red Rebels and the Rise Up Singers at Glenelg Beach. Hundreds and hundreds of families around enjoying the sunshine, enjoying a day at the beach on a Saturday, as you would. Red Rebels all have their feet and legs wet from their dip into Gulf St Vincent. Having left the sea, they're walking back up into Moseley Square, the heart of Glenelg, and the spot most popular pretty warm. Well, in Adelaide today, I was going to say it's pretty warm. It's not what you would call a scorching hot summer day, but we haven't had a lot of warm weather lately, so it's a bit warmer than most people are used to.
They said they just do this as a fun.
Bringing up the rear. If you'd like to join us, we would love to have your help at one of these actions. Being part of Extinction Rebellion, you know, you see in the news sometimes Extinction Rebellion activists getting arrested, but most of us who participate in actions such as this one don't have to set yourself up to get arrested. There's lots of things you can do, from holding a banner to getting dressed up as a Red Rebel. Being part of the Rise Up Singers, printing or designing banners. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Red Rebels. Love. Make of that what you will. That's the thing with the Red Rebels. They're doing it without words. So we're hoping that they are conveying their emotion in a heart.
I've done the ones in London.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's also the green tea as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, it's going to be bloody hot.
Yep.
It's really hot. That flag can go that way, the red jacket.
Red Rebels head back towards Moseley Square. The Rise Up singers are continuing as they follow behind. And we hope that even a few people today might have stopped and thought a little bit more about what each of us can do. In terms of the sort of earth that we are leaving for the next generation, or even later in this generation. Every day that goes past is a day closer on current settings to climate catastrophe. No time to lose. The seas are rising, and so are we. Extinction Rebellion, South Australia. Extinction Rebellion is all around the world. Share this video.